Welcome back to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. On today's show, we have the man, the myth, the legend out of Louvers International, Devin Wall. My name is Michael Colligan. That's Greg Ehrich, if you don't know that already. But what you need to do right now, actually after the show, you got to go to etissl.com, Greg Ehrich, ETI Lighting.
Yeah, you check out their LED downlights. Provide the ultimate solution for all your downlighting requirements. They have canless wafers, canless gimbal, commercial retrofit gimbal, surface disc, anything can or pot light, as you say in Canada. You gotta go ETI. They got it for you. Fix it up.
Yeah, they actually have a broad line. I'm just on their website right now. They got indoor, outdoor, industrial. Oh, they got everything there. Go to etissl.com. Where it all starts is NAILD. That's right, NAILD.org. We got the NAILD ambassador here on the line, which is Devin Wall. But you know what? You should join this organization if you have light bulbs in a warehouse and you sell them over a counter, or you sell them on the internet, or you sell them on the phone, or wherever you sell them. If you got light bulbs in a warehouse, this is your organization. Go to NAILD.org. Welcome to the show, Devin.
Thank you, guys. Great to be on again. And everybody does need to sign up for NAILD. The organization is awesome. There's so much learning to be had at there. LS Evolve is free. Get your counter guys keyed up on everything from how an occupancy sensor works to stairwell lighting. Get them coached up. It's going to help you guys sell more, increase your guys' volume, and just gain more customers being a NAILD member. It's a big asset. I love being the ambassador. I'm thankful to be the ambassador, working with other organizations to try to key up and just make people smarter so we can make better decisions on lighting out there for people on an everyday application. I'm just blessed to be a part of it. Happy to be the ambassador. Working for free. It's just fun. And the convention that we just had in St. Paul, it was unreal, awesome. Just get signed up for next year. Just send Aaron an email and saying, just sign me up, baby, because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, do it. Stop wasting your time. Get it done.
Okay, we're going to talk about your Louvers line, which is your UVC germicidal disinfection that you just got some accreditation or support on from DOE and from GSA, I believe. Before we get into that, I want to talk to you about the lighting industry deep state. Nobody knows more about it than Devin Wall. You ran the committee, the accreditation agency committee. You put out the report. It's private for mail. That's a NAILD member only benefit as well. Devin, what do you think of this deep state? Is it possible to dismantle it?
There are ways we're talking about being a disruptor, and I think the best way to go about it is offer a better platform that's more friendly for everybody, and it's made by the people for the people. That's the biggest thing, talking about it. We're not pulling in outside resources. These are all industry people that are cutting their teeth and getting it done every day. And while other organization accreditations might have a committee, we know who votes on it, and it's the board that votes on it. And there's nobody on the board that represents any one of the people in the supply chain distribution, from component suppliers, my ballast and driver suppliers, to optic suppliers. Everybody out there, there's not the contractor. These people need to be involved going out there. And I just had someone in from Network Lighting Controls for Outdoor, and they said they paid the piper going out there. But that's the thing, is that when you don't have the industry knowledge, that's why guys like Ron and Webster over the Lighting Controls Association, they're doing good things over there too. So, the way to get it done is provide a better platform where it's by the people, for the people of the industry going out there. I mean, looking at the last lighting thing we guys did with Huff, the light bulb ban. Yeah. I mean, come on. If people are smart, you're going to change it out, but then you got people that don't break old habits, and that's what they look. Walking out last night, I left my office at 8:00 last night. Thank you for my mother-in-law watching the kids, allowed me to work late. But I go out, and we got, the spot that we rent controlled by tenants. They had 75-watt LED fixtures out there. My brother and I look out there. The guys are changing them to 300 watters, and then a month later they come in and spin on a Network Lighting Control. Across the street on that other building owned by other people, it's still 2200 Kelvin HPS lights. And so I'm like, I got to get the drone out and do this aerial coverage to see not that. And all, then that goes into a lot of other things, from dark sky compliance and, night lighting. So all of this stuff's got to looked at because, hey guys, lighting can't be blamed for everything. The concrete reflects light. We got to start putting off some of this other thing. Is like, hey, it's not the lights; it's the concrete reflecting up out into the sky. So, what are you type? You're using concrete, you're using asphalt. Black soaks up light. So, all these things play in, and you're not going to know this stuff unless you're doing it every day, talking to the lighting designers, the contractors, the municipalities, saying what they are to benefit out there. And I think that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're starting for. Is the Lighting and Darkness Foundation is something that we wanted to do as industry people, and that's what we want to do is help people out make better decisions and offer better type of incentives out there for properly doing it.
So I think one of the things as you're saying this, and I don't know, I've never really thought it through enough or said it out loud, but lighting has been the wild, wild west since LED. That's what people have said. And I almost feel it's worse now than it was. I mean, the reason we started Get a Grip on Lighting is because of that. That's the whole reason for this podcast was what the hell is going on in lighting? Let's try to get a grip and figure this thing out. Hopefully get it under control. But now it's almost like, because the technology is advancing so far, it's almost like it's crazier. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? Is it wilder now than it was?
Listen, I would say that the people in charge need to be people that have an extensive understanding of legacy lighting and know the new technology. Okay, you bring in a lighting guy now, even in his 30s, he doesn't know anything about HPS or metal halide or anything at all about those technologies, let alone policy of why what about those technologies was good, right? Like HPS was an accident at 2200 Kelvin. That was an accident that we got lucky that outdoor lighting was 2200 Kelvin. We preserved dark skies for years because of that. That was an accident. But we need to bring forward this knowledge from the past and blend it with the knowledge now, Devin. And I think the people best positioned to do that are the lighting distributors, the lighting contractors, the people you were talking, the component suppliers, the vendors, the people that are in NAILD or right adjacent to NAILD, right, or very similar to NAILD. And I think that's the direction we need to take it, Devin.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, some of these Band-Aid products that get out there, not meant for, the amount of emails and pictures that I see for, stuff gone wrong in the lighting industry. It's just like, oh my gosh, was this porcelain socket made for something that's 2-3 pounds heavy, low frequency vibration,
Sure,
all this stuff? I mean, that there's no way that's surviving a 3G vibe test going out there. That's not going to last. So, making these by the people, with the people, for the people of the industry to teach people how to do it right. You look at what Sarah was able to do at Watt Savers out in Denver with their program. You have to be an LC or a NAILD LS2 to actually apply for the rebates. I mean, come on, can we please get that done for every utility handing out rebates? Because that's going to get you away from these lumen skimping double dippers out there. We see it all the time. There's 44, they put 88. I mean, only 10% get checked. So they're rolling the dice and they'll take a slap on the hand because they're making money hand over fist on, what these incentive programs are handing out. But then, it's like, well, how do they get the money for the incentives? Power company, utility companies regulated by the federal government. So if they make $50 million extra on a smaller utility, they make $50 million. They can't pay everybody, here's a $200,000 bonus for all you guys. What they end up doing is saying we can lower your energy rate and deliver you a lower cost. Your kilowatt hour rate could be from 10 cents down to 2 cents until we spend all that money. Or we can create incentive programs to help lower the overall gig cost and still charging you the same amount of money. So,
guess which one they always choose?
The easier path of the least, let's just lower it.
No, they choose incentive programs all the time, man. And I don't think there's a lot of lowering of electricity costs in North America. I haven't heard of any jurisdiction having lower electricity costs in 2024 than they had in 2010. Am I wrong about that? That's just my gut instinct on that. Greg?
No, you're right. Yeah, I haven't heard it going down anywhere.
So what the ambassador of NAILD is saying is that NAILD members need to coalesce around the Lighting and Darkness Foundation and set up our own deep state operative. Ah,
The Well, yeah, it's not going to be deep state. We're going to be an open book, and we're going to
exactly.
show everybody what we're doing. I mean, that's the best way. Honesty is the best policy, and when you have an open book and showing the people what we're doing and qualifying manufacturers, not the products, but you
The
qualify the
manufacturers.
manufacturers, that's it. I don't care where you're making this stuff. How long you've been in business. You look at their warranty process, how you're fixing up claims and going through that. That means more than the actual performance of a light fixture. And what 15 lumens per watt? I remember Michael and I were talking to a guy. He said, "What the hell is 15 lumens per watt? That's like nothing." It's just like you're taking out the
Yeah.
older technology. 175. I'm putting in a 60-watt retrofit kit, and the thing looks absolutely fantastic. There's nothing I shouldn't be bending over backwards. I'm buying the best components from the best manufacturers, and the results are what it is. It looks pretty. It does the job fantastic. And we're taking helping people out within the community, 2200 Kelvin type solutions out there, and it shouldn't have to be meeting criteria. It looks good. It performs well. The customer is happy. That's the biggest
We
thing.
should
Is a
set the
person.
criteria. We like on the bulb ban. Like I wasn't joking when I said you sit down, Spencer Miles, Brian Huff, Michael Colligan, Greg Ehrich, and Corey Schneider, and we'll tell you which 400 lamps to make illegal right now, and that will be 99% of all mercury. You know what I'm saying? And that you can there's LED replacements for all of that. You don't need those lamps anymore. Instead of banning everything and making people apply for exemptions. But this your Cluver product, Greg, what do you know about germicidal UVC? You ever sell
Well,
anything?
that's what I was going to ask, Devin. I wanted to get into that. Is it was hot, when we had our little pandemic, and it kind of slowed down on my end. I sold a few robots and talked about it a little bit, but haven't seen the traction,
The
that
robots.
we did. Yeah, there's a few robots out there. So I don't
Yeah,
know if those robots
the
are still being
robot
used,
man.
but yeah.
No,
So that was my
they're
first
with.
robot
I know
sale.
That's a
schools.
relic of
Yeah,
when they said that the COVID lived on surfaces. That's the
yeah.
robots were cleaning the surfaces, and COVID doesn't even go on the surface. What a bamboozle that time was, man. Holy macaroni!
I was talking with my rep out in Philly, and they're like, "Yeah, this one school district bought the robot, and then they started doing it. It take 1 year to do all the schools, one pass." And I'm just like, "Oh," I go, "Someone got hoodwinked on that one." I mean, I love the
Yeah.
effort. I love the stuff coming out. I mean, that is cool. I don't want to knock it. That like the light towers, they're so impractical that you can't be in the room going out there. So I've really studied and going on the Lighting Darkness Foundation. I'm actually the council chairperson for celebrating the adoption of ultraviolet germicidal UV lighting systems. And that's where we're trying to help these utility companies incentivize that. ASHRAE's done a big number on studies with just popping in UVC lamps and air handler units because that stops the biofilm from growing on the filters, which makes the airflow breathe better. So you've got a better efficiency
But
throughout that
that's an
period on there.
HVAC play. Okay, now look,
Yeah.
active and passive air disaffection is legit. So if you're listening to this, okay, this is not something that a robot someone made in China and sent over to the US to burn everybody's eyeballs, okay? Active air and passive air disinfection has been used for decades and decades, going back to the 50s or 60s or something like that, in what do you call
30s.
it? In
The
these
tuberculosis wards in the
tuberculosis wards.
hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's germicidal UV was actually like in the late 1890s just for water purification, but it moved into the tuberculosis wards in the 30s, and that's really like wow, that's really stopped the spread. But there's still this spook factor with exposure to UVC wavelengths. So here's a trivia question you're going to get right. So you're looking at trivia night, and they say you got the UVA, UVB, UVC. UVC never actually hits the Earth's surface; it gets blocked up in the stratosphere. That's why you see sunscreen UVA, UVB. That's why there's no UVC on the sunscreen bottle because it never gets down to the Earth's surface. But like NASA, they bring something back from space. The first thing they do is throw it in a UVC chamber. That's the first thing they do because that's going to know it's going to deactivate and eradicate all potential whatever that's on this rock or whatever piece of dust.
UVC disinfection is a miracle. Everybody's water that you drink has been disinfected using UVC. It works to clean the air as well. You've come up with this Cluvaire technology. Is like the one thing from the pandemic that actually worked has not been adopted. I mean, people did all this stuff with filters. You had robots burning around schools. It takes a year. You got masks. You got vaccines that didn't work. You got all this stuff from the pandemic. None of it worked. The one thing that we know for sure works, nobody adopted.
Yeah, there's, it works. That's why I can't really go into much detail with the GSA and the DOE, but the press release is out there. We were selected on the Green Proving Ground on our Cluvaire technology because not only are we delivering more equivalent air changes per hour, but we're also reducing the energy cost. And we had a company in here that tested this, a live in-room test in this conference room that I have right now. And the test came back that we would achieve the equivalent of 7.88 air changes an hour. And that was done for 1.5 pennies.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows what that means.
I
Greg,
know.
Is this a lighting play? Greg.
I don't know. I think it was at one point, but I don't know how to do it now. What do I do? Should I be selling this, Devin? I know we've talked to you and you say we should, but is it a lighting play in your opinion?
Yes, it's an everything play. And going out there and looking at it, I'm not the only guy that makes active air disinfection devices. There's a handful of other people. Some include a lighting device. Ours houses a backlit panel. So it's easy to adapt into this thing. And basically, you take a 6-foot whip and plug it into the next fixture. It's only drawing 55 watts. So it's easy to install when the lights turn on with the occupancy sensor or someone flicks a switch, the devices turn on. So it's addressing the in-room solution versus the overall HVAC. When someone's coughing in here, you're going to be more protected than you would before relying on it. You're looking at airflow patterns. Where is it coming? Where's the supply? Where's the return? And then you've got all these other things in there. These HEPA filters that everybody bought with that stand on the floor, those things are trip hazards. They're never turned on because they're too loud and they're a distraction. I mean,
they don't work as good.
No, the more higher up people I talk in the ASHRAE community and facility maintenance managers and engineers, they go, that's just blows crap around the room. I mean, and you're looking at where it's blowing. So if I'm coughing or someone next to me, it's blowing this way. It's you're blowing the germs right on somebody else. No one changes the filters. The filters get stolen. And they go, even my daughter's daycare, I'm looking, it's surrounded by 3 bookshelves and it's not even on. I go, well, that wouldn't even do anything because looking at the manufacturer's direction, it has to be at least 18 inches off the wall in any space to be somewhat effective. You know, that's the thing. You can't just
they don't do anything.
You got to put
the HEPA filters are a waste of energy. You're using mercury lamps, right? Does your device indicate when the mercury lamp has failed like a water disinfection system would? So I have a water disinfection using germicidal UV in my home. And every year there's an alarm that goes off that tells me to change the bulb. If the bulb burns out while it's in there, an alarm goes off. Do you have any type of fail-safe technology like that, or do people have to remember to change it every year?
No, it's like a lot of the products we make, we take a lot of that factor out of there. We do have a lamp life monitor, and it's a blue LED indicator light, and that shows you that the device is on, it's working, and we run that lamp. We know the Philips lamp lasts 9,000 hours, so at 10% of the life left, about 8,100 hours, that blue light starts flashing blue, saying, hey, time to change me out. And that's like, I went back to this fluorescent technology because it's 254 nanometer. That's like the golden ratio of, yeah. And LEDs can't hit 254. And the distributor cost on a fluorescent lamp is very affordable.
It's a mercury lamp, buddy. I got in big trouble calling it it's a mercury lamp. There's no phosphor in that lamp, so you watch it, boy.
So Devin, if I want to go sell some of this afternoon, what do I do? Who do I go to?
You want to talk to the building facilities manager. You're talking at schools.
Only
schools is a big play. No, but Class A office spaces.
You know, you just made Greg's going to get rich now. You realize it, eh?
Yeah. Doctors' offices, dentist offices.
Moneybags Ehrich, right? And I can see the twinkle in his eye. You elephant seal. Guys, I want you to go to etissl.com, especially you, Greg Ehrich. But after you check out this Cluver technology, you go to etissl.com, Greg Ehrich.
Well, I'll tell you, when I'm in the field more and more, I'm looking at recessed cans. A lot of them are gimbal rings, and not everybody
Yeah.
has one. ETI does. Make it a gimbal ring. There's a reason it's a gimbal ring usually.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it gimbal. Don't make
They
it a
gimbal.
bomb. Gimbal that thing.
Gimbal. I always hated the word gimbal. Go
That's
to
what it is.
NAILD.org as well, where you can hang out with all the cool cats that know all the good stuff in lighting. That's our ambassador, Devin Wall. This has been Get a Grip on Lighting. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.